Marvel just leaked the entire plot of Avengers Doomsday, and you won't believe who betrays the Avengers. Doctor Doom recruits a shockingly powerful ally. Loki faces his ultimate test, and one OG Avenger returns to change everything. Stick around because the final twist will rewrite the MCU forever. If you miss this, you'll regret it for all time. Always, two notable sources, Geeky Cast and the Cosmic Circus, have recently dropped separate but surprisingly consistent plot leak summaries for Avengers Doomsday. While it's wise to remain skeptical of leaks until verified, these come from insiders with reliable track records, and the parallels between their accounts make the alleged plot all the more intriguing. The details sound coherent, plausible, and aligned with Marvel's larger multiverse narrative. To recap, the primary incursion in Avengers Doomsday reportedly stems from the collision between the main Earth 616 MCU and the alternate divergent X-Men universe, glimpsed at the end of the Marvels. Monica, now stuck in that alternate dimension, is said to play a key role in pulling the two realities closer together, thus escalating multiversal instability. However, newer information adds more layers. According to these leaks, Carol, Wong, and Bruce Banner have been collaborating post the Marvels to study the quantum bands in an effort to rescue Monica. Their plan involves creating a portal to the divergent universe, but the attempt could backfire, triggering the incursion event itself. Despite the bands having cross-reality capabilities, they're described as dangerously volatile. Enter Doctor Doom. Leaks suggest he will emerge not as the central villain, but as a powerful, morally gray force attempting to repair the multiverse, correcting damage wrought by the Council of Kangs, Variants, and even He Who Remains. He'll reportedly blame the TVA and its leadership for the chaos, and kick off his own mission to seize control of the multiverse in a desperate bid to restore order. His first move, recruiting Wanda Maximoff, offering her a shot at redemption for her actions in Multiverse of Madness. With Wanda on board, Doom's plan is to defeat Loki and take the throne at the end of time, thereby rewriting reality. This puts him on a collision course with Loki, setting the stage for a battle that splits the Avengers, some siding with Doom, others with Loki. Doctor Strange, interestingly, is said to support Doom's cause. As the film unfolds, it reportedly escalates into a race against time, as multiple factions vie to stabilize, or reshape, reality before it collapses. The third act is set to explode inside TVA headquarters, culminating in an all-out multiversal war between characters from different realities, some backing Doom, others defending Loki. It's speculated that this climactic battle will spill into the end of time, where Loki has anchored the multiverse and cannot leave. That's where the real ending unfolds. Doom reaching Loki, defeating him, and using the power of the throne to reshape all existence, potentially forging a new singular universe. One of the juiciest rumors also involves Thor. Supposedly, Marvel is planning a powerful, emotional death scene inspired by his fate in the Time Runs Out storyline. However, like in the comics, his death wouldn't be permanent. Instead, he's expected to return in Secret Wars, possibly as part of the Thor Corps, with no memory of his sacrifice in Doomsday. One theory suggests that Thor might fall while trying to protect Loki from Doom's wrath, reinforcing the emotional stakes. Additionally, both leaks mention that upon discovering Doom's intentions, Loki and the TVA will rally a resistance of their own, forming a team of multiversal Avengers to defend the timeline and the multiverse. This closely mirrors elements from Jason Aaron's Avengers Forever, where a version of Loki assembles Avengers across the multiverse to fight against a Doom variant named Doom Supreme. Given that Avengers Doomsday is said to draw heavy inspiration from Time Runs Out, Secret Wars, and now Avengers Forever, it's easy to imagine Marvel Studios orchestrating a cinematic spectacle unlike anything seen before, a final showdown of redemption, betrayal, and rebirth. Of course, leaks are always subject to change. Even if accurate now, scripts evolve through rewrites, filming, and reshoots. But if this is the direction Marvel's heading, Avengers Doomsday might just live up to its apocalyptic name. While plot leaks should always be approached with caution, recent rumors from Geeky Cast and the Cosmic Circus are painting an increasingly consistent and compelling picture of Avengers Doomsday. A key point of discussion? The film may be heavily inspired by Avengers Forever, particularly the central conflict between Loki and Doctor Doom, with a resistance army formed from multiversal heroes. Now, let's get one thing straight. While Avengers Forever also features Mephisto as a major antagonist, it's highly unlikely that Marvel will wedge him into Doomsday, despite his long-awaited arrival to the MCU. Instead, the narrative threads involving Loki, Doom, and their race to control the multiverse seem far more likely to influence the film's direction. If these leaks are credible, and they line up well with Marvel's established direction, then Loki, or more plausibly, Sylvie and the TVA acting on Loki's behalf, could become the architect of a new multiversal Avengers squad. That theory fits well, especially when you consider prior TVA interactions with certain key players. Take Deadpool, Wolverine, and X-23, for example. At the end of Deadpool and Wolverine, TVA Judge B-15 acknowledged Wade and Logan's heroic actions in saving the Fox universe. She even hinted they'd be welcome to work with the TVA again. That open invitation could explain how these characters, although not from the same divergent X-Men timeline, end up on the TVA's side in Doomsday. Speaking of B-15, it's now confirmed that she's returning in the upcoming Avengers film. Not a shock, given the movie's working title is For All Time Always. A dead giveaway that the TVA will be central to the story. But things get more exciting. Two more fan-favorite characters, Steve Rogers and Captain Carter, are rumored to return, backed by none other than The Hollywood Reporter, which lends serious credibility to the scoop. While Chris Evans may portray multiple variants, his main comeback is said to be as the original 6'16" Steve Rogers. And if true, the TVA may be the ones to bring him back into the fight, this time to defend Loki. That would be a genius narrative move. Despite their early rivalry, Steve and Loki share history. Loki knows Steve's character, unwavering, noble, and principled. If Loki needs protection from a rapidly dividing Avengers roster, some of whom may see Doom as the more trustworthy leader, Steve Rogers would be the perfect symbol of trust and morality to stand by him. Imagine the scene. Some Avengers, still scarred by Loki's past, side with Doom, who presents himself as the savior of the multiverse. But then Steve Rogers enters, not to fight for Doom, but for Loki. That moment alone could shift allegiances, catalyzing a dramatic turn in the story. Remember, for most of the Avengers, Loki is still the villain of the Battle of New York. Only Thor truly understands the current Loki's evolution. So Doom, charismatic and Stark-like in appearance, would easily convince heroes that Loki poses a greater threat. Until Steve shows up. That kind of dramatic reveal could echo Thor's epic arrival in Infinity War's Wakandan battle, a true crowd shaker. This also opens the door for Steve to lead the multiversal Avengers team, which could mirror Sam Wilson's leadership of the new 616 Avengers, setting the stage for a united front in Avengers' Secret Wars. And imagine the comedy gold if Steve ends up fighting alongside Deadpool, who famously idolizes him in the comics. As for Haley Atwell's rumored return, whether as Peggy Carter or Captain Carter, there's interesting groundwork already laid. In Loki Season 1, a mysterious TVA scene briefly showed a woman who appeared to be Peggy being escorted through the headquarters. A Marvel insider later hinted this wasn't just an Easter egg, it might have been set up. And if so, the Russo brothers could definitely choose to run with it. Ultimately, while these leaks don't cover everything, they don't dive deeply into the roles of the Fantastic Four or the Thunderbolts, for instance. They do offer a very believable framework. The involvement of the TVA, the clash between Doom and Loki, the recruitment of Deadpool and Wolverine, and Steve Rogers' triumphant return all feel like pieces of a puzzle that fit neatly together. And given the Russo brothers' knack for emotionally charged, ensemble-driven storytelling, this kind of setup makes perfect sense. It blends nostalgia, redemption, multiversal madness, and character-driven tension into one epic finale. Whose side are you on, Doom's or Loki's? Could Steve Rogers really trust the God of Mischief after New York? And how the heck does Deadpool fit into all this? Drop your wildest theories in the comments. If you're ready for the biggest MCU war ever, hit subscribe, because Secret Wars is coming, and nothing will be the same.